This is IGN. The latest Monster Hunter continues to smooth off the rougher corners of the series in smart ways. This is your IGN review of Monster Hunter Wilds by Tom Marks. After Monster Hunter World blew the doors of the series wide open for a huge new audience in 2018, and Monster Hunter Rise gave us high-flying wire bugs to more quickly zip around in 2021, it makes a lot of sense that Capcom would do whatever it can to welcome that newfound following into the next frontier. That's exactly what Monster Hunter Wilds does, smoothing out the already excellent process of turning big, scary dragons into silly little hats to be faster, more flexible, and less fiddly than ever before. The other side of those dual blades, however, is that Wilds is light on any real challenge, even for what I'd expect at launch, never asking me to think hard about my equipment. But while the monsters may not pose much of a threat this time around, smart tweaks to combat still mean the act of carving them up has rarely felt better. A clear example of how Capcom has tried to better welcome new players is that the campaign in Wilds isn't just a totally forgettable excuse to kill anything that crosses your path this time. Okay, it's still mostly that, in that you and the Hunters Guild set out to explore yet another uncharted land in order to solve some environmental mystery, but while the story itself isn't particularly fresh, the difference here is that the characters within it are actually pretty great. Whether it's the excitable engineer Gemma, your empathetic handler Alma, or the total space cadet of a biologist Eric, your team is full of likable personalities and little character arcs throughout the gorgeously animated cutscenes. That was enough to get me more invested in Wilds' campaign than I've been in any previous Monster Hunter. Avoiding spoilers, there is more to do once you get past the credits, of course. That's where the larger changes Wilds makes to the traditional Monster Hunter loop really start to shine. Gone are the days of returning to a separate town between every hunt, then going down the same checklist of tasks before you're ready for the next one. Pretty much everything you need is out in the field with you, and every location is seamlessly connected to the others, from a flaming oil-filled basin to a frigid mountaintop, meaning you're never more than a lickety-split loading screen away from wherever you want to be. The monsters you face on your expeditions are generally excellent, and the feel of fighting any of these monsters is also in a great spot for Wilds. The appeal of Monster Hunter's fights has always been how it empowers you with flashy moves and hard-hitting attacks, but knowing when to strike and where to stand and how the monster will behave next is just as important as figuring out which buttons to press. These are hulking behemoths with varied and exciting moves of their own, and to some degree, you really do have to be a hunter, not just an action hero, to take them down efficiently by learning their ins and outs. That's true in Wilds too, but combat is also more flexible and forgiving, letting you adjust your footing a little more mid-combo, resulting in fewer moments where a mistimed attack with a long animation had me embarrassingly slicing at the air without losing the careful considerations these chunky strikes require. Wilds deserves credit for being one of the most customizable games I have played, not just in the Monster Hunter series, but anywhere. Partying up online has also been made more robust, letting you run around each map with your friends, including through crossplay, and seamlessly flow from hunt to hunt, still getting full mission rewards without having to regroup at camp between each fight. Monster Hunter Wilds continues to smooth off the traditionally rough edges of the series in smart ways, reducing as much friction as possible that could get in the way of you grabbing any of its exceptionally fun weapons and planting them firmly in a monster's hide. But in that quest to make Monster Hunter more approachable, Wilds has carved a little too close to the bone in some places, trimming its challenge back so much that I barely needed to dig into its in-depth equipment system at all this time to become an apex predator. Its more flexible combat is some of the most fun I've had with the series, but like the blustering lightning storms of its gorgeous desert, it'll burn brightly but briefly until Capcom unleashes some real endgame beasts to challenge us. Monster Hunter Wilds IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Monster Hunter Wilds updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.